Hello again, everyone. I'm Bob Colt, and we're continuing our conversations in the Lansing School District. And this may be the first time that you've seen Robin Moore, the Vice President of the Board of Education. And Robin, welcome. I can't believe this is the first time that we've talked on Conversation.
Yeah, it is the first time, and I am truly excited.
Well, introduce yourself.
Hello. No.
to the audience and the people who actually tune in and watch this, because you came into the Board of Education at kind of an unusual COVID time, and there are some people in the district who might not know enough about you. So introduce yourself.
Yes. I was elected in 2019, and I started serving 2020. So we were online with our board meetings, and it was awkward not being able to be face-to-face, especially being new to the board, being new to learning about the district. So, hey, there it is. And I've been serving now. I'm in the role of vice president. At this time, I served for a year as a trustee, and then I was asked to serve as treasurer my second year, and also chair the strategic planning committee. So that was a big responsibility for me, still being, I would say, green to the Board of Education. But I survived, and yeah. So I'm here. I'm here today with you, having a conversation. It's been too long, but I'm here.
Well, now, why? Why did you want to serve on the Board of Education? We know you have children in the district, so you're obviously invested in the education of young people.
Yeah, education. Well, I work in higher ed. I've been working in higher ed for over 25 years now this year. And I am also a product of the Lansing School District. I attended Maple Grove. If anybody remembers, Maple Grove was my elementary school, but in Maple Grove, Gardner, Everett, and Sexton, I graduated in '87. I'm a proud graduate of.
You're young. Oh my goodness.
I am so young. But I have actually 3 children that one is actually graduating next year. She's a junior at Everett, and she's so excited. She's counting down the days for school to be over because she'll be a senior. And I have a 29-year-old who graduated from Everett and a 22-year-old who graduated from Everett. Yeah.
And so you kind of have a family heritage in the district.
Yeah, I do. And my mom also, when she retired from the state of Michigan, she subbed for many years. She was a sub-secretary for the district. So yeah, I have heritage in the district, and also a legacy of education. I wanted to be a school teacher.
Well, and what is it? You work at Lansing Community College. What do you do there?
I work in the library. I am an operations and circulation specialist.
So you have access to information all the time.
Yeah, I told you I did my research on you. I went on your website. No, yeah, I do. I have access to information, and that is so important. Yeah, that's part of education, right?
Right.
Knowledge is what is power.
And so you decided that you could play a role on the board, and you joined the board and then automatically moved into this officer and strategic planning position. Where do you think the board is right now? I mean, you've adopted a strategic plan. Are we moving in the right direction? Talk a little bit about that.
Of course, we're moving in the right direction, and it starts at the leadership. We have an amazing superintendent. We have an amazing executive leadership team. We have amazing teachers. We have amazing staff. We have amazing students, and we have an amazing community. So with that support, yeah, we're moving in the right direction. And I am so excited about, I tell Ben often, 5 years, we're really going to see that needle move, 5 years. And I'm proud to be a part of this.
You were the treasurer and then became vice president. So the finances of the district are actually pretty solid. When we went into COVID, people were very concerned because of the monetary effect on school district. But actually, Lansing came out in pretty good shape because of COVID, and we passed a bond that we've made investments in, and it's been one of several bond issues. And people will see the development of new schools come online. You must feel pretty good about the finances and everything that we're doing.
I do, because one thing I know for sure is that you have to be a good steward over your money. And we as a district, we're that. Our team, Ben assures us that we're good stewards, or not even that, just provides opportunity. He's a smart guy.
Yeah.
And he's making smart moves for the district.
And so now as vice president, how is that role a little bit different?
Oh my goodness. I'm Rachel's backup. Bless her heart. She's an amazing president. She's an amazing leader. I'm adjusting. I'm learning. I laugh at myself because before I ran for the board, I was that parent sometime. I can admit that I would get upset with the district because I would want to know, why isn't this happening? Why can't this happening? But when you're actually in the seat, there's so many different levels to it, and I understand. And so, I'm adjusting and I'm learning. But Rachel's an amazing leader, and I'm happy to sit, or I'm honored to sit next to her.
Well, it's kind of like having access to information in a library, isn't it? You have access to information, then you understand it, but then you have to communicate it to other people.
You do. You have to communicate it. Rachel, bless her heart, her knowledge, she has a wealth of knowledge because she served on the district so long. She's my library.
Well, so what would you like to see happen in the district? Or what do you tell people will come up in the next few years?
I think that we will continue to serve and be intentional with our service to our educators. Because I always say, if our educators aren't well, they can't serve our students, right? So I think that with Ben's leadership, you will see growth. You will see enrollment growth. We've got the Lansing Tech. I love the Learning Hub. Have you been over to the?
Yeah, we'll talk about
Oh my gosh, I love the. I talk with my hands, but so you got
to excuse me.
But for me growing up, I'm not your traditional learner, right? But because of the era I grew up in, I was put in a box. If they had the Learning Hub when I was growing up, oh my gosh, I would have totally just excelled. So I love that because it gives students, first of all, an opportunity to learn at their own pace, right? Learn differently, not the traditional way, right? So, and the support, I mean, we already give support all over the district, but it's just amazing. It's not your traditional student. It's not your traditional teaching. Yes, we have the core concepts that your students have to learn, but they're learning differently. And we have to think about that. We do when we're teaching our students. So the Learning Hub is amazing. Lansing Tech is amazing.
Well, and your daughter will be a senior. Lucky you. So what happens to the mom of a senior in the Lansing School District? What do you have to prepare for?
I've been asking myself that because it's a balancing act. Because
you've been there before.
I have, but not in this role. I'm on the board now,
Yeah.
so now it's a totally different ballgame. So I have, I'm this board member, but yet I'm a parent. So I have to make sure that I am balanced with that. And when I say balanced, I have my role as a board member, and then I have my role as a parent. Parents first. Got to be a parent. But it's a balancing act. I'm excited because actually, hopefully I'll be able to hug her when she walks across that stage because I'll be an empty nester after that.
Well, but you'll still be on the board. I mean, you'll have to be, your term will continue, and you might have a little different perspective as being an empty nester serving on the board.
Yeah, but I also, I probably will because I won't have that parent hat, but the love that I have for education, youth, I'm still connected in that parenting, role because that's just who I am.
Yeah.
That's just who I am.
Well, and so, but there are a lot of people in Lansing who might not have kids who care about schools. And they're probably your neighbors. And you probably hear that feedback. They still support schools, don't they?
Oh, yes.
Talk about that.
Of course, of course. I mean, children are just innocent. There are people that don't necessarily have kids, but they still support the district. Yeah.
And they do because, there could be selfish reasons. It could be their own house, their property, the values, or whatever they
What about this?
Yeah.
The love for humanity.
Oh, sure.
Just the love for humanity.
Of course. And for you, you've had kids go through and become successful in the school district, and you've seen teachers help them. Those are long-term relationships, aren't they?
They are. And it's funny because my daughter's teachers, who are they around? No, her elementary school teachers, they remember me. My son's teachers, he was in the New Tech program. They remember, they know who I am. So yeah, those are long-lasting relationships. There, Miss Theo, I think that was her name. She was the principal at Averill when my youngest daughter, and my son attended Averill together for a couple of years. And my youngest daughter, was in the Spanish immersion program. And my mother would drop my kids off for me at school because I had to be at work earlier. I was opening the library at that time. So my mom, she was retired. She would drop them off for me. But every day she would tell them as they got out the car, knowledge is power. And I ran into the principal and she said, I remember your mom would always tell your kids, knowledge is power. And I said, we still do that. Yeah, we still tell them knowledge is power.
Well, when you were a student in the Lansing School District, did you ever think about, oh gosh, I want to be a librarian at LCC. I want to be on the Lansing School District Board of Education. You never thought about that, did you?
This is what I thought about. Growing up, I always wanted to be a teacher because, like I said, I was surrounded by educators. I always wanted to be a teacher. My cousins, they were my older cousins. They were teachers, and I remember being at my grandmother's house, and my Aunt Dolores, she was a teacher as well, but she would be in my grandmother's living room correcting papers, and I just loved it. I was like, oh my gosh. And I remember going to my cousin Donna's classroom before. I was young, but I was intrigued. I was like, I like that. Helping the kids, being extra nice. I was like, I want to be a teacher. And my grandfather couldn't read or write. My grandfather could not read or write, so I would pretend to be his teacher. So it's just, I've been trying to teach for years. But when I went to Everett, to Lansing Community College, I went back to school in my late 20s. I was in retail for many years, but I went back to school to get my degree in education. And I started working in the library, and I loved it. I loved being around just all of the information and serving, and I started to move up in my position. So I put that on the back burner. I never thought about running for the Board of Education. Never thought about it. But I've always had a desire to help people. I just serve. I'm just helping people reach their full potential. I want everybody to have what they need to succeed in life. And it starts in the schools because we're teaching. How do you teach to think critically? How do you teach just to be a good citizen? How do you teach? How do you educate? And it starts with our children, right? So I've always had that in me. But running for the board, it just happened. 2019, my father died during COVID. And I talked about it a lot because I thought about sometimes when I would get frustrated with the Lansing School District, I would make little comments. I should run for Board of Education, but I would just be talking. Not really, Bob. And then something hit me, 2019 in May, and said, run for board. And I'm like, all right, talking to myself, right? Sure, are you sure I should run for the board? So I did. I went and filled out the paperwork, and I feel like I just walked into that position. And so.
Well, let me ask you this. Is this the easiest thing you've done today? Because we're out of time.
I told you.
Robin Moore,
What?
Vice President, Board of Education, Lansing School District. Thank you for joining us and telling your story on Conversations. I'm Bob Colt. We'll continue our conversations in the Lansing School District.